Just a quick video to explain some of the finer points that you might not see on the photos of our 1993 Hino Ranger. As you can see, it's had the loft constructed on the front there. Electrical warrant of fitness, Rego, self-contained, 2026. Here is our UCs and our tier weight there. So we've had all sorts of work done on it. So we've had the gearbox rebuilt, the front suspension rebuilt and upgraded. We've had brakes redone, brake lines, exhaust, had heaps of stuff done, had the whole cooling system re-overhauled and reconditioned. So we kept this was our forever truck, and our situation has changed like a lot of people with growing families, and we've upsized. So, or we're going to upsize, I should say. We're in that process. So there's the lines. We can see the lines. This is the air conditioning lines through there. This is our Savannah awning. Anyone who knows about the Savannah awnings built in Tauranga, these guys are the best. The chimney there. We have our hot water cylinder there, and there's our diesel heater outlet there. We have a table that folds down here, and then just behind this hatch over here, we have two LPG tanks there, so you can easily run your barbecue up into there. Stepping into our solid awning on the side here, so we have this out and we can access outside with storms and things like this, and this is made out of aluminium, so we're not worried about rust, and it has sheet steel there, color steel, and that allows us to get in and out without getting wet, and we have to worry about the rain. While this Savannah awning, it is great in all weathers, but you take a higher risk of having it out in the rain. Stepping in here, this is all custom made oak bench top, and we've got our shelving in here, spice racks slide out underneath, and there follow through our gas and electric hot water switch there, our sink, which is a French design gym and built granite composite top. These are always good, having that flexibility in the tube here. And we have our gas cooker, LPG and carbon monoxide detector, and underneath is our hot water that sits under here, and we can shut it off with valves there. Coming through here is our fireplace, and this is a beautiful fireplace made by a guy in Wellington. Great thing about this, besides the beautiful stain or the glass inlay in there, is you have your separate ashtray in the bottom, which makes emptying it a hell of a lot easier. And if you're starting a fire, having that air influx in the bottom is really good. The only thing you do need to be careful of is making sure that you don't run too hot, which we have one of these flue thermometers that we stick there, and keep an eye on things. It is triple flued, and it has fire incandescent in the top here, so it is really safe, but of course you want to make sure you're not getting things too hot with any fireplace like that. These things are all great. Generates heat on a pelter plate, and that will spin the fan based on the heat, and that helps throw the heat upstairs. Behind here we've also got our diesel heater outlet and diesel heater control over here on the top here, and you can set that up with 3 different timers and stuff like that. Down below here, this is always fun for the kids. It is our LED lights, and it was the same price as putting in trim, wooden trim, and so we've got LED lights that go all around down here, and so that's a lot of fun for the kids as they swap around. Plus it gives you different mood lighting if you want to feel like you're in a submarine or something like that. It's pretty cool. Our steps going upstairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are all stained, and then they've got inlay on them, veneer, and then they have a resin on top, so they're really hardy, and they've survived so far with the kids running up and down. This is the bedroom up here, so I have a double bed over there and a single bed over this side. Again, the photos might show better on this, and then we have our Daikin heat pump on the top there, which is fantastic as well. Built-in shutter and fly screens on the front, lovely big window there, and those copper bars, they're pretty sturdy, but as an adult, if you put your foot on them and needed to kick them out in an emergency, that would be easy enough. Our kids have been testing them since we've put them in, and they've held really well, so they're great for kids if you're having kids in here. And there's our big fire extinguisher, and then this is also smoke detector and carbon monoxide. We've got a couple of UPVC windows with a fly screen that easily just magnetically strips up there too. Coming down, fold out table, pretty standard. We didn't bother putting in chairs here because like a lot of times we sit down as a family together. We either sit down at the table or sit outside. Storage under the stairs, and then storage behind here. That's a blackboard the kids will play on. We've obviously given that a bit of a clean. Inside here we have our composting toilet, and it's a separati toilet, so it separates your urine from your solids, and that's easier to deal with, a lot better than your standard one. So it's custom made to fit into there, and then the doors lock together. Just a bit tricky with one hand. It sits kind of like that. It locks into itself when you're on the inside, so it sits in there nice and easy, giving you that extra space in there. And then you have a mirror up the top here with the LED lights. So you can sit there, it gives you a good look in your face, and without being straight onto your face, the angle mirror is quite nice. Coming back into here, so one of the things we liked with our tiny home building itself was that we can create our own full-size shower without it blocking. As you can see, it doesn't come full height to the room, which means you're not blocking that light. So obviously you just use a shower when you need it, pull that curtain across, and then you can tuck it back away, and it doesn't give you that claustrophobic sort of feeling you sometimes get with a big solid wall through there. We have on this side we have our fridge, 130 litre refrigerated, I believe. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but that has the fridge there and also has the freezer up in the top. And the benefit of that particular freezer is the condensing unit is down the bottom and sits behind this plate here. It means that it's quieter, and it means you've also got the full size of the fridge. The compressor sits down below here. Our solar system, it's a lot more than most people have. Most people have only a couple of hundred. We've actually got a kilowatt solar, or just over a kilowatt. So we have two 310 panels on here, and then two 200 panels. On the photos you'll see that two of them on an angle, so it helps us get that summer light on those slightly smaller panel, bumps it up with a controller. This is our battery monitor, Voltronic, which is really good. We have our water monitoring system, so you've got 450 litres of fresh, and you have 150, the numbers will be exactly when I print them down, of grey water, and you can have a difference between the two because you have them monitored. As you can see, our lights are there. Our water pump too, and so it runs off of 12 volts. Most of the system runs off 24 volts, and then we have a switch here for 12 volts on this side. And on the other side we have 12 volt that runs our water heater and our LPG alarms and things like that. So on our system we have 390 amperes at 24 volts, which I think is 780 if my math is correct, on 12 volts. So that just gives you an idea. A lot of people work on 12 volts, so when you're doing 24 it's double that. We have our inverter here, which is a 2000 watt, which gives us lots of grunts, enough to run a coffee machine off it. Probably be struggling to run a jug, but runs a coffee machine fine. And here we've got our RCDs, so we've got our external power RCD and we've got our inverter RCD, and of course you've got your corresponding outlets here. So we just had that signed off and that was all done. The guy was really happy with what we've done here. He said, "Now that's exactly what we'd like to see in all, although this is above and beyond." So we have our USB outlets, we have outside lights, so we have an exterior light here. These were great. I always wanted to put lights in them, so if you switch on the light and you're still inside, you walk past, you can see that light's on outside, because when you've got the curtains drawn you can't see outside very well at all. Down below we have our fuses, so you can see everything's wired up and fused in there. We have fuses for everything. We have here our charger, so if you're running 230 volts or out external power and you want to charge your battery, this is the top of the line quick chargers, and this will help charge your batteries. And down below here we have our battery banks, and the battery banks tucks all the way, if I can get into there, all the way to the back, and you can't really see it in there, and there's obviously some big breakers in there as well. So if there's any questions, give us a yell, but this is our off-grid setup and it's worked really well for us, and we hope it works well for the next person that it works for. Cheers.